good morning. Unless you're a slacker, then good evening. Last episode, we had an issue with our speed through water sensor not working, and it turns out it was just our old friend, Becky the Barnacle, clogging up the paddle wheel in the transducer through hull, also known as the old clam hole to us sailors. Before we move on to your 1.5 minutes of relevant boating information this episode, I wanted to remind you all that boat life is not glamorous. It's psychologically painful, and I think the data shows statistically 99% of boat work leads to physical injury. So I don't want to sugarcoat this life for you. If we're having pain, I want you to experience it too. But I will let you know, don't worry, that's not blood. Okay, I get it, you weren't ready for that one. Maybe a little early in the episode for that much pain. Let's try and lemon you up first. Big pinch, 1, 2, 3. I warned you it would be a big pinch, but clearly you're not ready for that. So let's just circle back around when we're all a little more numb. I think about 6 fingers should do that. Okay, so last episode we had mentioned that Rudder had a shudder in their rudder. So I'm going to have you repeat that 3 times fast while I finish the other 4 fingers. I win. Anyways, it just turns out that the steering cable needed blinker fluid added to the carburetor. Just kidding. That was a test. The hydraulic system just needed to be bled. Pretty simple. Anyways, on with the show.
You're not getting drunk up here, are you?
It is boat work day, Monday on Space Between. We have 2 guys here replacing the wireless router. So they've been up and down the mast. They've been in the anchor locker, which is where the mast foot is, and in and out of the nav station desk. While it is a little crazy having people come and go constantly and, having everything torn apart, it's still really nice to be progressing so that we can get moving.
We originally installed a bad boy Wi-Fi booster in Maryland. The booster wouldn't stay running and needed to be power cycled frequently, so I bitched enough to motivate John Michael to come up with the idea to try another booster. So here we go with a Aegean Link 7 for picking up shore Wi-Fi, as well as a Pepwave for cellular data and to use as an internal network router. Now, I don't want to get into all the details explaining how the internets work, but this new setup worked much better for us. However, just like a child star featured in Hustler has her own issues, the unit wasn't perfect. Also, I'm just going to put this out there that I don't think that the speed was that great either, since it took 13 months to upload this video. But you can't compare land life to the sea, nor boat equipment to land-based equipment, because it's like saying that the water on Mars tastes off. Just drink that polished piss and move on.
We also have someone from Just Catamarans working with ACY who is installing our Glendinning controllers, so that's fun too.
From this angle, we can all tell that this guy is not a plumber, even though he clearly knows his shit. This guy was an amazing help getting the throttle swapped out and also adding a second inverter.
The hot part now because
Oh, okay. I've never seen the inside of that.
Now, there's plenty of screwing going on. You got this one here, and there's some of those under the helm. Then on top of the helm. Damn, more under the helm? Wait, more on that side now too. Okay, just repeat that for another 2 hours, and easy peasy, the throttle's out. Here's a family-friendly shot of the original Throttle, which got its start in the Terminator as a T-100 arm. This next shot of the Throttle is a bit graphic, but it goes out to all my fiberglass voyeurs out there. Here's a peek under that sweet helm with the Throttle in its unedited natural habitat. Next up, we play which one of these boxes with expensive boat parts is really just trash. Oh, definitely not this one. Somehow this packs the same punch to your wallet as a small automobile. Don't want to throw that little guy out. If you picked either of these 2 boxes, wrong again. These are the actuators for the throttle, which will mount in each engine bay for the 2 rudders. Let's circle back around to the box we found that throttle control in. Ah, the elusive box of trash. This is where John Michael stores any installation instructions he's ever come across. He's not one to take instructions from anyone, including the engineers who created and installed the EVC throttle controls. He's always sure to use none of them. It keeps him out under G for garbage. One more look at that throttle. Shifting forward and reverse gives a solid clunk. How's that for ASMR? So smooth, like anti-seize lubricant on a baby's bottom.
We're waiting for a fiberglass expert to come and build up the helm station top to fit the throttle better.
To finish the install, we had to build up the fiberglass to fill in the gaps the old controls left on the top of the helm. In true boatwork fashion, it only took about 3 weeks of calling fiberglass guys until we finally found anyone that bothered to call us back. And then we narrowed our choices by paying whoever the fuck would actually show up to the boat to work. The temporary piece of starboard under the new throttle was removed, and after just 3 days of huffing fumes and listening to this, the EVC throttle install was complete. Now that we've got it installed, I'll rip off that band-aid and let you know that the parts alone crept into the $12,000 range. It's painful, I know, but you're becoming a leathery old salt like us, and can handle most any pain now, so this next bit won't seem so bad anymore.
Yes.
Okay, well, hold on. It's recording. All right. So don't get too close. Record that. Don't get too close. It won't be in focus. Okay.
So let's tell them what happened. I cannot get that in.
You have to tighten it like that. So there's some guys on the dock next to us cast a line, a fishing line, and it cast it too far. It went into the top of our boat here, and I went up to grab it, just toss it back in the water, and the whole time I was thinking to myself, you know, don't get stuck, don't get stuck, don't get stuck. It went right on my finger, really far, like way further than I thought it would.
What's that?
Numbing medicine?
That's like,
I really don't want to watch this.
I'm gonna poke you on one side this way, it's gonna go almost all the way through, and then the other side, okay?
hold it. This is the part that hurts.
It's gonna be a pinch,
Just a pinch and then a burn.
and then burn. Big pinch, 1, 2, 3.
Let me just take a moment here to apologize for the weed whacker in the background, but I didn't want you to miss the good parts of boating, where I save lives like a motherfucking gangsta.
Oh God, I'm out.
Here comes the burn. Pinch.
I can't get to do my homework.
I mean, it's all numb. It's working its way down, I guess. I can't believe I hooked myself with this thing.
Well, we didn't have anything better to do.
Now mind you, I'm trained in psych and medicine. Add to that, a female and mother, so I know when to stress versus when to fix my patient and kick him back into play.
It's a pretty good
Can I
barb.
see it?
Is that good?
I'm sure it was sterile before it went into your hand.
Was
I'm not
stale.
sure about that. Thanks to Katie, we're up to date on all of our, immunizations and tetanus shots.
Mm-hmm.
So this rusty hook, I'm like
It's
a
fine.
superhero now. I can just can just get it in me all the time.
There, now it's clean. Just reuse that.
That's how fish got that?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
We haven't used it yet. This
So-
is really gonna cost you. It doesn't look as bad as it's gonna
It'll be
feel.
fine in the morning.
It's gonna throb when it
Oh my
wears
God.
off, so enjoy it.
Oh, it's gonna hurt so bad.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna be useless for 2 days. I
Where's
can
my
drink
bag?
rum till the pain goes away.
Sounds like a plan. We got margaritas.
Yeah.
We're not going
I
anywhere
want
else.
a margarita.
We give our
We
son
don't put
marg-
alcohol in them.
No spice.
No spicy, yeah.
No
It's
Okay. Let's go.
And it keeps it from sliding off the end.
Katie's biggest concern at this point is making sure that the fishermen get their rusty lure back. I'm not sure that's a priority, but whatever.
While Joe Michael gets a 5-minute bleeding outbreak, join me in hating on the salon table and its sharp corners. It's screwed to the floor of a house built to sway it directly into your shin. Fortunately, we're part of the #MeToo movement and don't believe that lower extremities have to take shit from anyone. While it has some storage, we all see these small cutouts would never fit the jugs of liquor required for putting up with everyday boat shit, so we tore it out, scavenging pieces for spare parts. Outside is a new table we designed, which was built with real wood, held together in 80% mix-it glue, with grain that matches well enough to fool anyone on YouTube. The pneumatic legs are manually raised and lowered to make it a coffee table, dinner table, or work desk. These sauce and visible hinges allow the tabletop leaves to fold open, expanding the surface area. They are supported by these metal braces that slide out underneath, so the expanded areas can almost fit the weight of your mom. Now that John Michael's break is over, back to work. He knows he doesn't have any more sick days left, and his injury falls under the just trying to be a nice guy clause, so it's not covered under workers' compensation. As John Michael removes the tape for the big reveal, surprise! Hidden behind all that tape was a brand new table. Check out those gorgeously beveled corners and beautiful legs. And I'm not just talking about John Michael's, I'm talking about those brushed aluminum table legs that do go all the way up, gentlemen. But since the kids are watching, in this demonstration they'll just go down. This is known as the Netflix and chill setting, where one can comfortably rest their dirty feet on the table that we'll all eat dinner on later. It seems we had a lot of requests on our live feed, so we asked Dexter to step out so we can show you those beautiful legs. Just flip the levers and watch those stems grow. Meow to work, Top. Maybe finally I can be more productive, meow. Don't spend too much of your life thinking if you heard what I just said. Watch how this dinner and desktop appear meow to thin air. Well done and classy too. We designed 2 stools for extra seating and also as a storage space. We wanted them to match the boat, so I bought the umbrella fabric and just catamarans arranged to have the stools built, and they did a phenomenal job. These stools are approximately 4 by 4 Luxusova bottles across with a padded top that will make you think you're sitting on a cushioned ottoman. And they also come in handy as seating in the cockpit, but only if you're strong enough to lift the 28 liters of liquid inside, also known as 7.4 US gallons of Go Juice to Merkins, or 6.2 Imperial gallons to any of you limey English Canucks. But that system is garbage, eh?
What's the name of the stuff you put on?
It's Homesman Spar Polyurethane. It has UV protected in it. So we're doing clear satin. So we'll see. We're doing a little experiment on the bottom of our cockpit drain. So this is sanded to 400 grit. This is 250 or something. This is 150. And this is also 150, but I'm adding the sawdust to it to see if it gives it some grip, makes it a little less slippery. It's a little experiment. And then this has not been sanded at all. So we're trying to protect it, but also prevent slipping.
This is the other side.
This is the bottom side. Yeah, that's our experiment. So any of you people that thought a new boat would be less work, we're learning it isn't. A lot of corners and trying not to make it run too much. Turns out, based on our uncollected and subjective data, none of this had a statistically significant p-value. So we just put on a bunch of Helmsman polyurethane coats, then slapped some 3M clear non-skid tape along every other slat lengthwise. And that held up great. It was surprisingly one of the only parts of the boat that would hold up without needing much attention. So we got our inverter hooked back up. There's some kind of blinky time thing going on. The oven is on, however, when I try and use the convection fan, we got a discotheque. And a fan that's not working. And the clock turns off. Here in the owner's cabin closet, you can see the cord and European plug from the oven hanging down. Remember, we've already told you that no matter how hard you try, no matter how well you plan, the boat always wins. And any boat work must be done at least twice.
Turns out the replacement inverter didn't have high enough wattage to support this sassy oven, so we'll just try again next month.
Thanks for watching. We hope you learned something on this episode. If you could please go to Yelp and leave a 5-star review for Katie's Cockpit Surgical Center. I'm really trying to build my client base. Also, stand by for next episode, which is fully topless, and things get pretty wet. And we might even set sail finally. Who knows?